Instructions for taking measurements. Preparation of the customer. The measurements of the leg can be taken on bare leg or over pants. It is recommended that the salesperson take measurements on the bare leg. If measurements are taken over pants, be sure to indicate what type of pants, blue jeans or equestrian breeches. The position of the leg should be bent at a 90-degree angle. Use a chair or measuring stand of the correct height so that the customer can sit with the leg at that angle. You may start measuring with either the right or left side. The measurements of the first foot and leg will be compared with that of the second foot and leg. When you use the stitch tape measure, it is possible that there will be a difference in the measurements. If the difference is of one number or less, there is no need to retake measurements. However, if the difference is of 1.5 or more, measurements should be retaken. If you don't have the stitch tape measure, use 1 in inches. When you measure foot length with a wooden foot sizer, Ritz stick, and find any difference in length, it is obligatory to retake measurements. Drawings of the feet. Locate the customer's foot on the measurement form. Be sure the customer does not move their foot while drawings are being done. Measuring axis. It is important to set the measuring axis on the foot. Point A represents the frontmost point of the foot, the toes. Point B represents the backmost point of the foot, which will be the heel. Points C and D represent the widest points of the foot, where C is always located on the inner side of the foot and D is always on the outside. Mark A and B. Using a big brand pen and holding it in vertical position, mark the length of the foot. Mark a line. Remember to hold the pen straight up and down, at the most pronounced part of the heel. In the same way, mark the longest toe of the foot. Mark C and D. Looking over the toes of the foot and with the pen in vertical position, mark the widest points of the feet as shown. After marking points A, B, C, and D, trace around the rest of the foot with the pen straight up and down. This will connect points A through D and show any deformities of the feet, to which we need to pay special attention: bunions, heel spurs, etc. Use the stitch tape measurements for all measurements. Use the special tape measure that we provide for you, or an inch measure tape. This tape has 3 different measurements. The one you should use is marked stitch and has number marked on it 1 through 90. Never use measurements marked 1 through 60 or 1 through 46. Remember, when taking measurements, the customer should be seated with the knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Take the measurements in the order that they are printed on the bottom of the measurement form. Toes. Passing the stitch tape under the foot and over points C and D, measure the widest part of the foot and note the measurement in the space provided as toes. Instep. The measurement is taken on the middle of the foot. The tape should pass under the foot, at the point of the arch, and over the foot. At the point of the instep, a small bone with a blood vessel will mark the point of the instep. To find the point of the arch, pass the tape under the foot. Slide the tape left to right, back and forth, and move it front to back, back to front. When you find the least amount of resistance on the tape, you have found the arch point. Note this measurement on the space provided as instep. Entrance. Pass the stitch tape around the heel, at the point where it actually touches the ground, and over the foot at the point where the foot turns into leg. Note this measurement in the space provided as entrance. Height of boots. This measurement should only be taken on the inside of the leg, never on the outside. With customer's leg at 90 degrees, find the back of the knee at the point where the leg bends. Hunter jumper boots. From this point, and using the stitch tape, add 6 numbers up, or in inches 1.5 inches up from the new point, measuring straight down to the floor. The resulting measurement will be the height of the boots for the following: jumpers, hunters, fox hunters. For dressage, only add 4 units or 1 inch. At the point that marks the top of the boot, we need to measure around the leg and enter both measurements on the form in the space provided as height 1. Example: if the height is 65 and the circumference is 44.5, you should enter 65 over 44 and a half. Heights 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for these boots should be taken in the following manner. From the point entered as height 1, subtract 10 numbers towards the floor to find height 2. Using the above example, from height 1, which is 65, subtract 10, and the result will be height 2, which is 55. Then measure the circumference of the leg at that point. Example, if the height is 55 and the circumference is 48, you should enter 55 over 48 in the space provided as height 2. Continue the same process measuring down 10 numbers and around the leg for heights 3, 4, 5, 6, or until you reach a height of between 21 and 29, which will be the last measurement of height and circumference. The last measure is the ankle. Using the stitch tape, measure around the leg just above the ankle bone, and note the measurement in the space provided as ankle. Taking the correct measurements of the customer's feet and legs represents 50% of our success in the manufacturing of handmade custom boots and shoes. In order to have perfect measurements, it is important to follow the instructions. This is the only way that we can ensure that the final product will be received in perfect condition by our customers. La Mundial. Custom-made shoes and boots.